So I know what you're thinking. That thumbnail is disturbing, isn't it? What is that? Is that fake? Is that just a Photoshop? No, it's real. Ella Evans Harper Savely was born in 1870. She was born with her knees bent backwards. And growing up, it was actually easier for her to walk on all fours like an animal. And so that's what she did. Now, for a while, she had a very good career going. During the 1880s, she traveled with the nickel plate circus, and she actually found a decent amount of fame and fortune in the short time that she did that, making $200 per week, which, if my calculations are correct, that's almost $6,000 a week in today's money. So certainly not bad. And this was all back when there were freak shows. The traveling circuses would have these side shows where they would feature people with disabilities or disfigurements and oddities, things like that. And I guess you could look at it and say, well, that was, very barbaric, and that's why they did away with them. But from what I've read, a lot of those people with those disabilities and those disfigurements, that's how they made money. They weren't going to get a job working at the grocery store. And a lot of them made a lot of money, just like Ella. I mean, the equivalent of $6,000 a week. It's pretty amazing. But of course, it came at a price of humility, which I'm sure she learned at a very young age anyway. But basically, she was put up on stage known as the Camel Girl, along with a real camel, and paying spectators could point out the similarities and marvel at, in some people's opinion, how much she resembled a camel. But she did make a name for herself, and in one newspaper she was referred to as the most wonderful freak of nature since the creation of the world. Which, it's a compliment, but it's no doubt a little backhanded still. A little more pleasant article in 1886, it is said by those who have seen her that there is nothing like her today on earth. She left the circus life at a fairly young age in search of something better for herself. I don't know what that means. There wasn't that much information about it. Maybe education, most likely to have a family of her own, which she did. But this is where the really unfortunate part of her life began. She fell in love with a man named Harper Savely, and they married in 1905, and just a year later gave birth to her daughter, Mabel Evans Savely. But that daughter died just 6 months later. Then, trying to play it safe, the couple decided to adopt a young girl named Jewel. That girl also died just 3 months later. Just in the span of a few years, she lost her father, her brother, her biological daughter, and her adopted daughter. And it was just, believe it or not, 3 years later that Ella Harper Savely died of colon cancer. And this is her final resting place. A very simple plot. Now, I read that both of her daughters were buried here, but I'm not seeing them. I'm not seeing any family members. I'm not seeing her husband, unless they have different names. I don't know. She seems to be all by herself. Oh, maybe there is family here. Harper, Mabel, probably Mabel Harper, yes. Okay. Yeah, see, there is a plot there. family plot, but I'm not seeing, it's really hard to read this. W.M. Harper, died in 1800. Maybe you guys can do some of your magic. I know some of you people are really good at looking up graves and things like that. Oh yeah, here's another one. Jesse Harper Hurt. Yeah, this one says 1843, I believe, to 1924. M.A. Harper, wife of W.M. Harper. I don't know. Obviously, this is her family plot. I don't know where her husband is buried. Maybe you guys can find that out. You guys can work your magic. I know some of you people are really good at finding graves and finding where, you know, the families went to or where they're buried, but that's the sad history of Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. Fascinating just to hear what she went through from day one as a kid all the way up into her young adult life, and then she couldn't even have a comfortable life later on. She ended up dying of colon cancer. Very sad. I need to get out of here because there is definitely a thunderstorm coming in. So I need to get out of the cemetery. Getting back on the road. See you in the next video.